Hey everybody, this is Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer. How you guys doing tonight? We really wanted to come in today and show this amazing channeling from Aridif. It was done on our Patreon on the 15th with our in-depth topic, and we really thought that this would be fitting for the collective right now because it's dealing with the consciousness of our higher selves and how the multidimensional self interacts with itself and with our reality. Amazing stuff. Some of the stuff that I had never heard that was brand new, and it was really mind-blowing to listen through while I was editing. I really enjoyed it. Everyone on Patreon really enjoyed it, and that's why I wanted to clip that. If you guys want to find out what we're up to, just hang out to the end of the video, and I'm going to drop some information about Patreon, about events, about merchandise, and we're going to share just, what we've been up to lately. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this. Have fun. Enjoy Aridif's in-depth, amazing topic here. Love you guys, and I'll see you on the other side.
Greetings to all, this is Aridif, Aridif, and this is its spell. We wish to express to all of you, before diving into the query, insights of multi-dimensional consciousness and the interactivity between conscious levels of that nature, we wish to express two things. First, above and beyond all things expressed within this day, to know, feel, and of course to perceive that you are loved, in our perspective, is of the utmost importance. Secondly, it is our greatest excitement, and within that same great excitement in which we co-create with all of you, individually, and in the collective conscious co-creation construct. Thirdly, we wish to express greetings to William as well.
Greetings, Aridif.
Yes, now we understand that all of you desire to speak upon the construct of the interactivity between multi-dimensional layers of consciousness that are embedded within each human consciousness. But we will first dive into the nature of human consciousness. Most humans that are existent are aware at some layer of their own consciousness, whether it be in the subconscious, unconscious, or the layer between the higher fractal and lower fractal consciousness, that you hold multi-dimensionality within your own conscious construct. And this is not special in and of itself. Of course, all entities that exist in the physical plane of reality are multi-dimensional in nature, but the multi-dimensionality vibrational spectrum, just as in your physical, mental, emotional, and entire spectrum of vibrational differential, is much different than majority of those that are in the galactic collective consciousness. Most entities who exist within fifth density consciousness are able to visit into the high levels of their fifth or low levels of the sixth density. Therefore they are multi-dimensional, and because they are fifth density, they are able to drop down into fourth and third either with their own consciousness as a projection or create a physical avatar within. But most fourth density consciousnesses are able only to go into the late portion of fourth density, or if those are truly grown and truly expansive consciousnesses that exist at a layer of fourth density, are able to go only to the low portions of fifth. So there are limitations in the way that operation of consciousness works for these levels of entities within. But humans, on the other hand, hold much different vibrational spectrum. Each and every day that you are entering your sleep state and going to your dream state, you are in the astral projected consciousness. You are leaving your physical body and going into the higher dimensional aspects of physical and semi-physical reality. And because you are able to do so, you are able to explore that which is above you. Now, even though all humans are specifically considered fourth density consciousness, you only experience that at the third, yet in layers before your 20 and 12 and before your 2013 consciousness, entering that energy of 2003 until 2021 is the overall layer of that transition. Yet before this, during this, and after, most humans still only experience third density, and in their elevated consciousness and meditation can enter parts of that lower fourth density vibrational frequency. Yet in your sleep states, in your astral projected consciousness, you are able to enter all three layers of the dream state consciousness. And this includes your fourth density, fifth and sixth density consciousness, but not just the fourth density and fifth and sixth. You are going in the in-between layers of those vibrational spectrums as well. When you are looking at what the third layer of your dream state is, this is what most humans would perceive as the layer of consciousness between physical and non-physical, between the end of sixth density and the start of seventh density consciousness, the place in where entire expansive unit of your consciousness as one singular entity is then expressed through that barrier and joined the entirety of their oversoul on the small level and lower level of seventh density, and at the higher an entrance into the entirety of the oversoul structure, from higher self to oversoul, and all that are between rest in that seventh density vibrational spectrum. What is the difference between the sixth density and seventh? In the sixth density consciousness, in the same level that we ourselves exist, they are still physical body, although not physical to you in this moment, physical for our own selves. We explore the entirety of our reality through a physical vessel such as your own consciousness does. But of course, your own physicality could not perceive because it is vibrationally lower within a dimensionality that is underneath our own. This means that if you were to look upon us, you would not be able to see us, and if you were able to perceive our energy, it would appear to be a light body to you. This is why most humans perceive fifth and sixth density consciousness as just this, light bodies. Now, in fact, from your perspective, of course, this is correct, but from our own perspective, we are just as physical as yourselves. The difference lies between the areas of consciousness in where we are able to have less limitations of our physicality and less restrictions in creating with that physical vessel. This is why we are able to think a thought and transmit our consciousness into a place and then transport to that exact same place that we are thinking about. This is why we are able to think of the time period of your Earth that is known as 12,000 BC region in what your historians call ancient Egypt, and then we would appear upon the earth in that place and in that time. Our physicality is linked to our consciousness more. There is more consciousness from the higher fractal energy that is internal to our body and connected, integrated, and a part of the physical structure. Now, understanding this is important, but this layer template layer of creation between 6th and 7th density, all humans have accessible to them. This is the layer where you go to create outside of the physical structure and in between those layers, so that you are able to create entire experiences, be able to synchronistically summarize an energy of an entire lifetime into one experiential night of sleep. This is how you are able to conduct an entire symphony of experiences of entire planets of consciousness, entire universes of consciousness in one rested evening. You are at your pure creative state in that position. Now, as you understand this part of your sleep state, the lower portions are just as physical as your body, but in your body would not perceive them. The first layer of dream state is in your low astral projected. This is where you are leaving your physical body and only interacting with that in which would be your normal dimensionality. Of course, you would be able to perceive entities of consciousness that are in between. You would also be able to perceive different times of Earth's consciousness, and for some that are more gifted in the using of their first layer of dream state, travel outside of your planetary structure to other races that are in similar states of vibration and the similar states of evolution that you are as an entirety of a race, and you can experience that energy through your non-physical vessel, but your semi-physical consciousness. Now, why are you considered semi-physical when you are going through the physicality? Because you are looking at third density entities, but you are at low fourth density or extremely high third density. You are in the layers between dimensions. This is what has been appropriately called ghost zones by many humans who understand the terminology. This is the place in where all consciousnesses go after leaving their physical bodies. This is why it is semi-physical and not physical. You are not majoritively landing in density 4.0. You are not physically landing your consciousness majoritively in density 5.0 or 6.0. You are simply going to 4.2, 3.8, etc. So as you understand where you are going in your sleep state, you can then understand the multidimensionality of one consciousness that is human in the Earth incarnation cycle. Yet, how are you able to experience this? Is it a magic journey where you are simply expanding your consciousness simply because the body does not limit you? This answer is more complex than a yes or no, as it attains attributes of both yes and no. Yes, your consciousness does lose limitations after leaving your physical body, which holds a great deal of limitations. But what is special, that opens and unlocks the potentiality, is the DNA that you hold. We have often expressed that the multidimensionality of your DNA is just this, multidimensional DNA. And of course, the nature of this comes from many circumstances, but majoritively the reason why you hold the attributes of all dimensionality are that races that came to manipulate early human DNA were from multiple densities. The sixth density consciousness of certain ancient Andromedans and also draconian beings run through human veins. The fifth density consciousness of Syrian and Pleaidian Arcturians run through your veins. Fourth density of the Elohim and Anunnaki and Earth reptilians run through your veins, and all of those are from each layer of reality. Therefore, physical experience of your DNA exists in all of those dimensions. Now, because you hold that DNA in each formed mission, that means you have experientiality, the possibility for experience, the possibility of manifesting into those realities, and of course a body that coincides with all of these dimensions. Treb Bor Yit NE were to leave his physical body, although having partial human DNA, can only enter 5.95 density. When he is astral projecting, in times of rest, he is going into slight dimensional energy above him. His consciousness is able to reach out telepathically beyond, but the nature of his consciousness physically perceiving that layer is not possible. His own DNA was created within limited source factors of the second density reptilian consciousness in which his own hybridization occurred. Entities that exist in our own planet, although we are at the last layer of physical reality and have no layer above to enter. When we were fourth and fifth density consciousness, we were only able to go 1.2 layers above us. This is also the nature of our advanced conscious integration and evolution. Most entities in our galactic collective do not hold this. Therefore, they are one density or below, able to stretch out their consciousness. With humans having not only multidimensional DNA, but a physical structured body in each dimension, then of course you are able to add your consciousness into that consciousness and create with it. In fact, it is not so much that you are stretching out and adding yourself into that layer, it is more specifically that that layer being fifth density consciousness already includes your consciousness.
Hey everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. I just wanted to share that this was done on Patreon on the 15th. We always take topics, suggestions on the 5th of each month. On the 10th of each month, we put those topics up for a vote, and on the 15th, whatever wins the vote gets channeled in depth by Aridif or another entity who's fitting to channel that specific topic that won. On the 30th, we do our Q&As, which are a lot like the old open forums where you put your questions in, and then you get a chance to get those answered by random draw. And people in the $22 tier get 2 draws, and everyone in the $11 gets 1 draw. And that's how we're working over on Patreon now. It is fluid, and we are going to be making some changes through Patreon, but it's working now. It fits now. And when you guys get that, you're not just getting to participate with us live while we're doing these each month on the 15th and 30th. You're also getting to choose topics, you're also getting to vote on the topics, and you're also going to be able to access 3 years of archives. Yes, we've been at Patreon now 3 years. I can't even believe that myself. So it's amazing to have hours and hours and hours of channeling that you'll never hear otherwise. So we really think it's an amazing place to be. We're building a community there, and we're going to keep going with that too. We also wanted to share that on September 11th and 12th of this year, we're doing an online event. You don't have to drive nowhere. You can sit at your home. You can be comfortable in your robe, drinking your coffee, having a tea, and join us right from your home. And we're going to go through all the techniques I use to channel, some of the most common problems with people when they start channeling, how to troubleshoot some of the biggest issues in channeling, and we're going to have Treb and Aridif drop by for 2 days, 4 hours each day. Only $44 for both days. It's extremely cheap because we wanted everyone to have access to this. Getting people to channel for themselves, I believe, is where the future of channeling belongs, and I really want you guys to be a part of it if it excites you. We also wanted to share that the merchandise pre-sales are over. The mystery gift was announced to our Patreon group, and it's going to be added to the website very soon. It was an amazing keychain with either a Treb or Aridif art, and on the back it says, you are loved, with Aridif's actual ancient Pleaidian language there, the written language. So it's a really wonderful gift. Now that pre-sales are over, it's not going to come with an order, but it can be used or purchased separately. And anyone who buys them before the first run of those runs out, there's a special edition where the print is in green text, and from that point forward, anyone who buys them is going to have purple text, and that's to let people know that you were one of the first original people to get in on the pre-sales, or to be some of the first people to order after pre-sales were over. I'm going to be getting my sweatshirt really soon. William and Carolina, the friends of ours who help us on Patreon and who also are doing the shirt printing themselves, just showed us all on Patreon last night on the 15th this amazing shirt with Treb on it, a hoodie with Aridif on it, which is coming to me, and the Treb shirt's coming to Kalina, and a Speak Your Own Truth, which was an amazing rendition from Carolina of both Treb, Aridif, and myself in one painting, and it's really cool. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll make sure to put a picture in our community tab so you guys can take a peek at it, but it's really great. So if you want to check those out, go to etwhisper.com/shop. That'll take you over to etmerch.net, which is our printing people. That's William and Carolina's website for printing. So thank you guys for joining us. I really, really appreciate you guys hanging in extra time at the end to get the information. If you've made it this far, you probably already subscribed. I didn't mention that at the beginning, but if you hung out this long, you probably already subscribed, and we appreciate it so much from you guys. Thank you guys for supporting us personally. Thank you for supporting our family. Thank you for putting in your love, your concentration, your verbal, energetic, emotional support, financial support, all of it. We appreciate more than the world. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next upload.